Hey guys, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. In the last episode, we finished up the Take 'em All challenge. We have all the side quest stuff done. So really, all I have to do is go to the Tower of Spirits, get the Compass of Light, go fight Malladus or whatever the hell crazy shit goes on there, and we're pretty much done with the game. So we're getting pretty close to the end here. However, this Tower of Spirits section is a humongous convoluted, crazy, puzzly pain in the ass. And you're gonna see why. This is literally the tower that just never ends. It's really long. It involves all the phantoms. It's just, I mean, obviously it is supposed to be, this final trial, this, test of everything you've learned phantom related. But just the way they design it, there's just a lot of backtracking and just, they really could have designed it a little bit better to make it more fluid. This one's just, it's just sort of broken up by a lot of, pointless backtracking. And I, as you can tell, I kind of do have a bit of problems with this. Actually, funny story, this recording actually, I completed the whole thing once, and I was like, okay, we got this Tower of Spirits section, okay, let's continue going, and then I checked my recording section, and I wasn't recording. So, really, this thing's just been a humongous pain in my side, but we're gonna get it done, and it will be good. So, we actually need to make our way there. The first place, they said on the top of the altar, there's going to be a way in there, but, well, once we get there, it'll be very apparent what it is. But we'll take the shortcut back up to here, go through the whole burn battle arena, which, now he's a good guy, though. Obviously, once you fight the bad guy, that was going to become good guys. It's just generally how the cliche works. I guess I could have sped this up, but, whatever. It gives me time to intro and sort of give my spiel about the Tower of Spirits before we jump in the middle of it. Plus, I don't know, I always find these little graphics, this part cool, the graphics and all that stuff. It's always really cool they use both screens and they really show things off more. They should do that more often, really. They don't need a map. Maps are overrated. Anyway, if you didn't pick up the stamp station, you'd obviously be getting it now. I guess in most of the cases, you wouldn't realize there is a stamp station up here until you actually came up here and checked and be like, oh! Well, there's a stamp station. Well, there we go. That was easy. But obviously use a bow of light. Make sure you have arrows, I guess. I'm actually running a bit low. But there are actually plenty of, nuts like this thing that'll actually let us restock all our items up. And wow, that's a lot of treasures. Got a wood heart. My face is sort of in the wall there. It's kind of a little bit in the wall. My ear's in the wall there. Yeah, Link, stop glitching through the wall, darn it. But 3 treasures in a row there, that's just crazy. Not that any of them matter. These aren't important in the slightest, but whatever. We're gonna restock up our items because they're important, and then we'll move on. I know I'm still running a bit low on bow. Like I said, there's all those nut things of arrows around the area, so I'll be able to pick them up as we go nearby. But basically, final challenge, we are ready for it. This is our first Phantom. And now that we have the little Coma Blade, the benefit of the little Coma Blade is we don't actually need to get Tears of Light anymore. So now we can actually hit Phantoms from the very beginning. So you guys are probably thinking, so there's no Tears of Light? So this dungeon must be really freaking easy. Well, guess what? It's not. They compensate for the lack of Tears of Light by just putting phantoms freaking everywhere, and them just being humongous pains in the butt. As you can see, by the way, I fixed the darkness, which is good. You're not supposed to turn around. That's not fair. You're not allowed to do that. I was about to hit you in the back and just take you over, and then you just took around. Now you have to defend yourself. Defending yourself? Who does that stuff? Self-defense is overrated. But no, we'll take care of this Phantom. As you can see, we're going to need a torch Phantom to read stuff in the dark here, just in general because it's dark. So our first goal is going to be get a torch Phantom. Basically, we're going to need to use all the kinds of Phantoms, but torch Phantom comes first. We'll need this normal Phantom though to get there, because we need to actually go across the lava over here. With our other Phantom buddy. Normally I would try to take this guy, but there's really no way you can really get at him without, it's just being really fortunate the way he sort of angles, because you can't hit him on top of Zelda, so, that sounds awkward. Just get out of my way, buddy. Take your time. Come on. There we go. Let's move onwards. So, yeah, we need a torch Phantom first. I did fix the darkness, though. Really glad I could get in for this one. I forgot what was going wrong there, so that's good. I can show you guys off this dungeon. It's on all of its frustrating darkness glory, so now I can't see where I'm going. And I almost kind of regret fixing that glitch, because the darkness is just an annoying mechanic, and not being able to see where I'm going is just always a pain in the butt. Anyway, do yourself a huge favor, because we're going to be using this path with this, this whole area a lot. And this lower part is actually really good for getting past the Phantoms. So do yourself a favor, kill this Keys right here, because he could be a humongous pain in the ass as you're trying to get through this area. I just used the Whirlwind. Seems to be a generally good way to take care of Keys. I don't know. How are they set on fire and then they die when they fall in the lava? Like, that doesn't make any sense. They're already on fire. They're obviously immune to heat to some extent, at least. Anyway, so sometimes darkness can open up a path. Well, if we learned anything from the Lost at Sea Station, get out of the way, Zelda. Stupid jerk. Oh, those ghosts are back. That's just great. Like, this wasn't a headache enough, but we need to blow out all the torches. So just take care of all of them. You know, let's just go make it so we can see even less. That always works. Okay, so big qualm coming up here about this Tower of Spirit section. And that's that right now, we've made it over here. We obviously have access to the previous section in the darkness. There's no reason whatsoever why they should not have... There's like a door nearby. You actually unlock it way later. There's no way to unlock it now. And this dungeon would be like twice as easy if they just opened that one door now, which there's no reason why they shouldn't have, because... Not this door, but there's one, like... You probably can see on the map. There's a door that connects, like, you know, the previous section of darkness to this one. And at this point, there's no reason why it shouldn't be open, because we can access both of them. There's no reason to make you have to go across that lava section every single time. So, if they had that one door open, it would save so much time and headache. Because, I mean, I'm doing this knowing exactly what I'm doing here. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to know which kind of phantom you need when, and you're going to do a lot of backtracking just to get different kinds of phantoms and just try different kinds of things. Also, speaking of which, if you go over here, you actually the warp phantom spawns. So now we have a warp phantom we have access to as well. We're going to need him later. We're not going to need him now. The torch phantom's a little bit more important. Anyways, I'm a bit behind here, but as you guys saw the flow that we just went to before, we need to get 3 keys in order to progress, and that's going to be the bulk of this part of the Tower of Spirits of this episode. 2 parts here that I have. First part's going to be just getting those 3 keys. The second part's going to be, you know, dealing with all the stuff that we get after those keys. Anyway, we need to bring a torch phantom back the way we came, so back to the other first section of darkness. Like I said, this is where a shortcut really would have been really helpful right now. But unfortunately, to do this section, you know, we have to do this lava section like several times in order to this whole thing. Because, you know, obviously in order to get a warp phantom, we need to go all the way back there again. So it's just sort of complicated. Anyways, so many things we can do with this, with our torch phantom. First of all is read the sign. Only those without special powers will know the secret. Well, that means we actually want Zelda to talk to one of these normal phantoms. So go, Zelda, be social. You should be good at that. Weak spot in the wall to the upper left. We're going to need to keep that in mind later. That's going to be a hint to a location that we can bomb. And that's going to actually lead us, else, you know, obviously going to be part of the game of things. But first we actually need to get one of our first keys. And this section is the other big qualm I have about this dungeon. Okay, so right now what we're going to have, I mean, you probably can see this coming, but we need to start using our sand rod. Our sand rod, no, that's not right. It's the sand wand, the sand wand. The sandwich. And how we need to use it basically is, and as you can see, I'm going to screw this up because Zelda can sink in the sand. We need to use it to harden the sand and give her a bridge to walk across. I mean, that seems easy enough, but really it's not, because you have to be moving Zelda while using the sand wand. And both those things are both, like, you know, pretty, you know, motion intense to do. And of course, the AI is just retarded, and Zelda will literally walk into any hole she sees. Like, I swear, she's like programmed, like, oh, you made a little hole in this path. I know it's not even anywhere near the path you drew, but I'm going to have you walk right on it. But just keep the sand wand, you know, just always, you know, just baby steps. Take her a little bit forward, then use the sand wand to make sure, you know, that part stays solid. And you should be good to go, because you have, like, you know, you have the timing on top of that, and I don't think, you know, you can't hit these guys when they're down. Well, darn, get up here so I can kill you. There we go. Out of the way. We need to have make sure you take Torch Zelda over here as well, because you actually need to be able to, you know, get the torches lit. So if you made the mistake of taking a wrong phantom over here, woe be you, because you're going to have to, you know, go all the way back to get a torch phantom, and all the way back over here, do the lava section twice, and that's why it's just, like, if you don't know what you're doing, this dungeon can just, I mean, my practice attempt literally took me 2 hours. Thank goodness this attempt didn't take me nearly as long, but that was mostly because I just wasn't sure which phantom to use at the right time, so it just makes it ridiculously long when you have to do that. Anyway, we're gonna make a quick path, have Zelda walk across it. And I mean, you're thinking, okay, you know, this doesn't look too bad. You're just using the sand wand and Zelda. How difficult is that? Well, this next section is just a humongous pain in the ass, and I think by now I'm at least decently practiced, just because I had a previous attempt at this that, like I said before, that got scrapped. So I think I'm decent at this now, but it's just not very pretty. regardless, what we need to do is we need to get on top of Zelda, and we need to do this whole thing while we're riding on top of Zelda. So we need to control the Sand Wand while we're riding, and that is easier than that's harder than it sounds. It's not easier than it sounds. No, it's harder than it sounds. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit of leeway here. Also, the other thing is switching back. You have to switch back to Link, then use the Sand Wand. That can be a little confusing sometimes, but yeah. You basically, I mean, you have very little control of the camera, so you have to basically just make the path while you're walking it. Which, you know, don't get caught. You're gonna sink in the sand. Wow, actually made that first try. Not bad. Also, make sure you actually hop onto the thing. You really only get one try as well, because if you make it across here, basically, I think I just tapped my mic. Oops. Sorry if you heard that. But basically, you know, if she falls during in these sections, you need to go all the way back to the beginning as well, because you know, either she'll spawn there, or even if she doesn't spawn there, you know, if you've made, like, you know, to that first platform, you'll have to no. God damn it, no! I hate this section so much. Look, it's like, just, she could have walked a little bit to the left and she would have been perfectly fine, but no, she had to walk into the little hole. No, don't hit me with your sword. I'm angry right now. No, get out of here, just freaking die, you stupid, just get out of my way so I can shoot you in the face with my bow. It's not gonna be that hard. You're just gonna die, that's not important. You're just a little enemy. You're a Stalfos, no one cares about you. Alright, I'm getting a little annoyed by this dungeon already, but, we kill this guy, and, yeah. So, you, like I said, well, actually, I guess I can go into this now, because it actually happened. If you fall, you're not on top of Zelda anymore, so you actually need to bring her all the way back to the beginning manually now. So you need to make a path of her, and you need to walk her all the way back to the beginning, which can be hard enough in itself, because, I mean, it's still, you know, you still have to control Zelda while using the Sand Wand. So we need to bring her back all the way back to the beginning, and then do this process from the very beginning. Because I mean, they could have at least just had an area over here for you to be able to get on top of her. Would that really have been that, you know, inconvenient? Really, why not just give, like, you know, just a little section so you can hop on top of Zelda over there? Why do you make us have to go all the way back to the beginning just to do this section? Like, there's just some things about this section of the Tower of Spirits that I just feel like they could have made simpler, not necessarily harder, because, you know, yeah, it's the end game, it should be hard, but there's difficult and then there's tedious, and this dungeon ends up becoming more tedious than it does difficult, and that's my problem with it, basically. I've sort of just ranted this entire time about this section, but when you know, spend like 4 hours between practice files and attempts that just didn't work, then you get a little, I guess, you have a vendetta. You have a V for vendetta. That's right. I just referenced the movie. Copyright people, come at me, bros. Actually, don't. I wouldn't appreciate that. But, yeah. It's a good movie, by the way. I remember liking that movie a lot. But we need to walk Zelda back here now. There's not even an easy way to get back. To do this whole process again to bring her back, because, you know, you can't walk down the stairs without Zelda. Heavens no, you know, we can't go get a phantom somewhere else. They could have at least put a phantom, like, in this section of the area, so we can just hit the phantom and use that to spawn Zelda over there, and just save time by doing that. But no, we have to manually walk Zelda all the way back, which, as you can see, is a humongous pain in the ass, because then she falls down, and it's not even easy, because, like, especially when you're not on her, you definitely have to do it in sections. Then don't you dare fall. Come on, no falling. Just keep going, Zelda. Why do you need my direction? Why can't you just go places on your own? My goodness. Why does it have to be touchscreen controlled? Why can't we use a D-pad or something to control Zelda? It made our lives so much easier. Oh wait, if you're doing... Yeah, I guess it would be the D-pad. I think that would make sense, because you're holding this with the right hand, and then you're doing the... Yeah, that would work, I guess. The D-pad, or, you know, if you're left-handed, I suppose, you make it so both options. Why... I mean, I don't know why they don't take so much advantage of them. By the way, I'm just sort of waiting for the Phantom to pass here. I don't know why they don't take more advantage of the fact they have buttons to use as well. Like, yeah, an entirely touchscreen controlled game is pretty cool, but you know it's better when you have both touchscreen and buttons. That's even better. It's one of the reasons why, like, what they've been doing with the 3DS, where, like, they have the gyro controls, and then, I mean, the gyro controls are pretty cool and all, but let's face it, if you're, like, in the subway or on a bus or something, and you start flailing your arms around your 3DS, people are gonna think you look ridiculous. Which is why they were smart, and they're like, you know, okay, well, you can do the gyro controls, or, you know, here's a normal, you know, control-based alternative. So yeah, the touchscreen is cool, but they should have just had a way to control Link without using the touchscreen, or just have some controls that aren't completely and totally touchscreen related, you know, besides the whole item thing, which I have to admit, knowing that now, it is a lot nicer than, you know, what I thought before. But just in general, you know, it would have been nice, I suppose, to have to have the whole, you know, to have a little bit less touchscreen, because sometimes all the touchscreen stuff, you know, the Sandwand being touchscreen and the Zelda being touchscreen and moving Link's touchscreen can be a little bit overwhelming at times, even when you're not playing on like a crappy setup, because you have to do that in order to record. But basically, now what we're going to need to do, as you guys saw, I didn't do the whole what the Phantom said about the crack in the upper left. I didn't do that yet because we actually need to get a Warp Phantom for that. So now, as you see, I need to walk all the way back here, grab a Warp Phantom, and then walk all the way back over there, which is just a humongous pain in the ass. So why they don't have a shortcut? I don't know. But we do have one of our keys at least, so we're 1 out of 3 keys. The other 2 are pretty much in the same spot anyways. If you read the thing, it actually said that hitting these 2 things with the light arrow will actually give us a key, so we'll be able to get a key once we get over there, which is good. Alright, we don't need any more Torch Phantom, we already have Warp Phantom, and they're cooler than you, so we're gonna just walk this way. Did he see me? No, he didn't. Good. I am safe. Zelda's just gonna take a long time to get back here. Hurry up, Zelda. My goodness, you are slow. I kinda wish they made Zelda just a little bit faster as a Phantom. I mean, I guess it makes sense he's in a giant hunking chunk of armor. Hunking chunk? What the heck? A giant hunking suit of armor, that's what I meant to say. Hunking chunk, yes. I'm just so clever. And you know, the normal Phantoms are pretty much that speed anyway, so it makes sense that she can only go the speed of a normal Phantom. But even so, it would have been kind of nice if she didn't, because it is kind of annoying to wait for her half the time. Like, yeah, it's been like a good 20 seconds just sitting there waiting. Anyway, quickly pick up some more arrows. I'm like, as you can see, there's some nuts right there, so you can just sort of stock up on arrows while you go, because you don't really need arrows that much early on, besides the skeletons. And even then, you don't need to fight them technically. Anyways, don't fight that Phantom. What we need to do is we need to make it crap. We need to make it crap. Yes, that's always pleasant. But we need to basically get to that crack and open it. That also does not sound very pleasant. My goodness. Everything's an innuendo. Everything's an innuendo at channel LuckySevenDX. Just everything. Everything and everything. Alright, so this Phantom needs to get out of the way. There we go. I'm going to send Zelda here to distract this Phantom, actually. So, weak spot on the wall to the upper left. And what the heck is wrong with this Phantom? He's just sort of stuck on the wall. Okay, buddy. You do that. He's still stuck there. I broke him. Okay, no, now he's fine. But I broke that Phantom. I totally broke that Phantom. And we had Zelda distracting the other one. Don't forget you can use Zelda as a social distraction. Which I'm not sure what that says about, you know, women in terms of, like, Nintendo. Nintendo's implying that women are a social distraction that you can use to get your way? I don't know. Nintendo, they're sexist, obviously. Well, no, I'm obviously looking way too much into this. It's like the people who say, like, they have the word hell in Disney because this little patch of smoke in this one freeze frame of an animation had the word hell in it, thus they are all Satanists. And I'm just like, you people need to stop thinking and just enjoy life for what it is. Don't ruin things that are beautiful. And I'm not gonna ruin this game by implying it's sexist. I'm just making a joke because it's what I do. It's what I do. I'm an LPer. I make jokes, and they're all pretty funny. Except usually they're not, but that's okay. Behind here, there's a treasure chest. And inside the treasure chest is a palace dish. You son of a mother duck. Do you know how much effort I did to get that one freaking palace dish? And you're just going to show up here at the end inside of a... Whatever. I had my golden train early. That's all that matters. So, shove it, game. Shove it, you and your stupid palace dish. Anyway, a nice use of the Sandwand. You can actually use it to raise yourself up and use that to jump on top of Zelda, which is kind of convenient. Anyway, this section's where why we need the Warp Phantom, is because we're going to now need to use these guys that spawn. Now, I'm not sure if this is the way you're supposed to do this, if like they really want you to be this precise. And I don't even know, like, why do they have sand down here? There's no reason for the, like, if you're gonna provide a Warp Phantom spot, just because you have to warp specifically on this one location, at least the way I know how to do this. If the warp Zelda specifically onto the warp panel here, you know, the switching panel, the circle thing. Obviously, if you miss, time it, she's gonna end up in the sand. So I mean, I guess they did that to make it harder, but at the same time, it's like, why? There's no reason why they need to do that, really. Like, they could have just... I'm trying to bring the Warp Phantom over here. I was going to try to hit him and get him, but he just dies to the sand like an idiot. So I'll just use him to bring the... I'll just bring Zelda over here using this Warp thing here. So, hello, Phantom Eye. Thanks for being here. I'm going to just use you as a teleport. Zelda's going to kill you, and then we're going to move on with our life. So, yeah, if they just didn't have sand here, like, it would have made things so much easier, because they could just warp over here, walk onto the platform. There wouldn't be so much timing, because it just feels awkward. It doesn't feel like that's what you should be doing. That's why I'm like, is there like an easier way to do this that I'm not seeing? Because I don't know, just like weird timing like that just doesn't seem like that's what you're supposed to do. But it's the only way I can think of. Also, I think this guy glitched a little bit. I don't think he should have. I don't think he was supposed to. He's supposed to spawn in front of the eye, not to the side like that. So this game, the Phantoms are just being glitchy these days, which is to be expected, I suppose. The Phantoms tend to be like that. All right, it's quickly before he respawns. You just shoot the arrow in the eye. It used to be a switch until I took an arrow to the eye, question mark, Skyrim joke, hashtag Skyrim. But now that we had that, we're going to quickly warp back over here, and then we're going to use a Warp Phantom to basically bring, actually we don't need to because we can actually walk over here, never mind, there's no need to use Warp Phantoms, that's right. But what we want to do here is we want to get on top of Zelda, that's what she said, or that's technically what he said actually, I guess. But, quickly we're stuck here. But we use our Sand Wand, raise ourselves up, and jump on top of Zelda, because we're going to need that in order to get that. So don't forget, this is something I had to really ingrain in myself during the practice run, is if you have sand, you can get on top of Zelda. Like, earlier I was like, or in the practice run, I was like, how am I supposed to get on Zelda here? There's no way to get on top of Zelda. I need to get on top of Zelda. I was like, oh right, Sand Wand. Well, that's easy then. Sniped. And yeah, so we just need, I can't use my arrow here, need to use my boomerang, because we're going to turn this thing around. There's going to be a switch over there, and then we can head back down to the final section of the darkness floor that we haven't been to yet. And that's when we'll finally get a switch that'll open up the rest of the doors that we should have been opened long ago to make this dungeon easier, but oh well. I guess they just, I don't know if they like try to make this so convoluted, but I just feel like these are like there's good puzzles that are like, hey, these are really challenging, fun puzzles, and then there's puzzles that are just like, these are overly tedious, you know, like the really bad Nintendo games used to use. And I don't know, this section of the game just seems like it's too much bad puzzle and not enough good puzzle. It's just my thoughts about it. I know I'm sort of ranting and rambling on and on about this, but whatever. Anyway, once we hit this switch here, we're gonna actually open up both the doors. So now we actually have shortcuts throughout the entire darkness section. Thank goodness they provide these, because we need to use these 4 phantoms. This floor now has, we can now access all 4 kinds of phantoms. Speaking of which, it's about time we get ourselves a Wrecker Phantom, because we need one right now. It's the final phantom we're going to need in this episode. So we've gone through all 4 phantoms in this episode, pretty neato. And believe me, we're certainly going to be going through more and more of those. And also there's a rat in here. Now make sure you hit the rat before you go to the phantom, because if Zelda's scared by a rat, she actually can't change into a new phantom. I found that out the hard way. Not a good idea to do that. But we're going to do the Wrecker Phantom because our final key, as you saw, we got the second key just not too long ago. But the final key is actually up here. Haha, I broke your thing. The final key is going to be right here, actually. So now we actually have all 3 keys. Not bad. So we'll be able to do the next section. The only thing we need to do, the only other thing we might as well do, even though it's not really necessary at this point, is you can actually use the Wrecker Phantom to open up a shortcut. As you saw way back at the beginning, there were these things blocking over down here. So obviously only the Wrecker Phantom can handle these ones. So we can quickly break them, they'll stay broken, and you can use that to access, you can basically get back to the beginning of the area by now. You can go back up to the altar from here. So we now have a shortcut from the entrance down here. Not that that's that big of a deal, because we unlock shortcuts downstairs anyway, so we technically already have those shortcuts to begin with. But now that we have the 3 keys, guys, I'll show you guys what's going to be behind those doors next time. So this is LuckySevenDX signing out. See you later for part 2 of this crazy Tower of Spirits. What's the word I'm looking for? The crazy Tower of Spirits experience. We'll go with that one. So, yeah, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.